The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.
Henry Hamilton was 64 years old. He was discovered dead in his home on November 8th, alongside 2 empty bottles of prescription drugs and a living will on which he had written, "Do not revive, F. Obama." He actually had warned prior to the 2012 election that he won't be around if President Obama was reelected, and it appears he did actually follow through on that, committing suicide by deliberately overdosing on a number of medications. This is an incredibly unusual and disturbing story. His partner, and I presume that this means that this was a gay man, and it refers to his romantic partner, Michael Cossey, told the Key West police that Hamilton was, quote, very upset about the election results, according to the reports in the Miami Herald. Hamilton had reportedly warned Cossey, his partner, that, quote, if Barack gets reelected, I'm not going to be around. We're still awaiting official autopsy results, and the police have said that there's absolutely no evidence of foul play. In addition to his anguish over the results over the election, Hamilton also had been, quote, very stressed about his business. Police officer Pablo Rodriguez reportedly showed up at their condo, where Cossey was sleeping on the couch after returning home in the early morning hours after being out with friends. When Rodriguez woke Cossey, the man went to check on Hamilton and found him dead in his room next to an empty bottle of Xanax and an empty bottle of Seroquel, which is used to treat schizophrenia. Cossey said the men hadn't even spoken since watching the election results on November 6th. This is a very unusual story, Lewis. Was this a gay couple? How did the police officer even think to show up if Cossey was still sleeping? There's just so many unanswered questions here.
And was he schizophrenic?
Well, he did have a prescription for Seroquel. And, clearly this is a man who is mentally ill. We should be compassionate. His problems obviously went way further than the election. But we have to ask, how did he initially get the idea of the election as a kind of turning point for deciding about killing himself? We have to assume that he was suicidal for reasons that went completely beyond the election. However, somehow, in his internal logic, the idea that the election results were a reason to kill himself became an idea. And we don't know what that is.
Right. I have to applaud this man for a couple of reasons. Of all the insane reactions we've seen to the president winning, a woman running over her husband and who might die, people threatening to kill the president, I'm sure a shooting rampage or two that we have yet to see. Killing yourself is actually pretty reasonable compared to that.
You're saying it's least harmful to people other than yourself, other than the emotional impact of...
At least he's not threatening to kill other people and do something of that nature. So,
what do you think about that, Natan?
I don't know. It seems like this guy maybe had like a even more incoherent reaction or opinion of the election than other people. Like, other people say that it's a huge government intrusion into their lives. There's, a lot of under the surface racism just because there's a black president who got reelected. But this guy, it seems like if he is gay, maybe it was just incoherent. Like, he was against it, but he didn't even know why he was against it.
Very odd story.
I'm sure the schizophrenia has something to do with all of this.
You would guess that?
Yes.
All right.